All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Nonprofits on Course, where we dive into the future of nonprofits. I'm your host, Matt Hug, president of Nonprofit.Courses, where you'll find thousands, and I mean thousands, of videos, educational videos for nonprofits, plus a great live events calendar and more. So please check that out. Hey, a little bit of housekeeping here. First of all, if you have questions, just put them in the chat in whatever platform you're using, and that we'll get those. Our assistant Amanda will pass them along. We're recording this, so you can take notes, not a problem. But you can also go to the nonprofitsoncourse.com website where you'll find a recording later on. You can go back and hit replay and hear us talk again and again about the same thing over and over again.
Again and again.
Right. And don't forget at the end, stick around for today's gift that Sonia brought us. And speaking of Sonia, that's Sonia. Today we have a special guest in a special format. Hey, we are like actually here live together. Right. This is the old school way of doing it before we all used to go do those video conferences. And we're here live at the R5 CoLab in beautiful Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And, it's a bit of it's always a nice day in Lansdale. What am I saying? Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
The sun is somewhere.
It's somewhere, right?
It's somewhere.
Sonia, I was really thrilled about having you on the show. Just so everybody knows, right? Sonia's business name is Uplifting Nonprofits.
That is correct.
And that is so aptly named because I find Sonia one of the most uplifting people I know. I mean, seriously,
that's so
I really
sweet.
do.
So sweet.
I always, whenever I am done talking with her, I am smiling. I just really do, and I appreciate it.
Well, now you've put them that I have to make them smile.
I know, really. That's it.
The pressure is on.
The pressure is on. So, besides that, tell us, Sonia, what do you do? What's your day-to-day life, and how did you get into what you're doing?
So, my specialty,
Yeah.
my expertise, is teaching boards how to fundraise.
Oh, cool. That is like majorly needed. Right, yeah. We all know that, right, guys? Yeah.
Right. So I got into it in a very circuitous way. Is that what I want to say? Right.
Sure.
So I used to be in the hospitality industry.
Okay.
And I was queen of sales.
Oh.
Yes.
There you go.
And my clients were like Delta Airlines, New York Times,
Wow.
Secret Service, Air Force One. Yeah, exactly. So those were my clients. So it was really top. And of course, my ego was good.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I spoke about money all the time and had connections.
Yeah.
Ideal candidate for a board.
Yes. Right.
Didn't know that until I got invited to be on a board.
Fair enough.
So I got invited on a board and it was lovely and I enjoyed, except they would say, so fundraising, everybody's got to fundraise.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, no problem. I talk about money all the day, all the time. And I have connections. So I made my list. This is back in the day. Well, you still make a list, right? So I made a list.
Yeah, I had a boss that make your list, work your list.
Exactly. Oh, right, exactly.
Yeah.
I didn't work the list. The list sat.
Oh,
and
interesting.
sat.
Okay.
And sat. Because I didn't know how to ask for a donation.
Ah. So you were used to that value exchange thing going on.
Right, exactly.
And now there wasn't.
No, I wasn't giving anybody a service or a product.
Right.
I'm supposed to take your money and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, the feel good is so important, right? And we know the value of that, except for society and the world we live in, for our economy, doesn't emphasize it.
Right.
So here I was, I didn't know how to do this. So I got asked to be, I participated, but I didn't get donors in anything. Right. So I got asked on another board and I was like, okay, I got to do this because I'm mortified. Here I am, queen of sales, and I can't ask for a donation. I mean, I was so embarrassed and angry at myself, and I was wondering what's wrong with me. So I started reading books on fundraising, right? That seemed logical to me.
Right.
So I got a little smart on fundraising. The problem was I still didn't pick up the phone.
So that call reluctance kind of got you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So luckily I was still doing personal development. I'm always doing personal development. Love it. And I came across brain science.
Oh.
And I learned about the amygdala and all these things and the frontal cortex and all these things. And I realized, yes, I have fears, but how do I work through them and what do I do
So
with
you
them?
became an amateur neurologist.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't ask me to do surgery.
Yeah, right. Those
No
words
surgery.
don't go together very often.
No. So when I left hotels, I decided to start my own business,
Right.
leave hotels,
Yeah.
and go to the nonprofit world because I'm going to save the world. Little did I know I was not
Young and
saving.
idealistic.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly,
right.
exactly. But what I did recognize is that as I was doing fundraising and doing different jobs in fundraising, et cetera, from entering data to events to all sorts of things, I recognized that my gift is working with boards.
Okay.
Because having been a board member,
Right.
I understand the reluctance and I understand the misconceptions.
Yes. Yes. And there are many. And my own experience is getting board members to admit that is huge.
Exactly.
That they don't quite grasp that it's not exactly the same thing as sales.
Right, exactly. And they think it is sales. And so one of the reactions is, I'm not salesy, I can't do it.
Right.
You get a sales
Or
person.
I know everything I need to know.
Right.
I'm not going to go to your training.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that has become my specialty and I love it.
Cool.
And one of the highest compliments I got was from a board member. He's an attorney. And he said, not only did Sonia teach me how to fundraise, but she impacted my work and personal life. And that to me is a gift.
Yeah. That's cool.
So I love it. I love it.
Well, and that's what nonprofits are about,
right?
Impacting people's lives.
Exactly.
And you are handling that in a very unique way. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Wow. All right.
Thank you.
Well, and I'll bet over this time you've learned a little bit about donor retention, haven't you?
Thank you.
Yeah. You like that transition into our subject here.
Right.
So, Sonia, I mean, you and I have talked about this, and I'm sure the folks who are watching have this kind of idea too, right? That the fundraising effect of this project, which I think is an AFP kind of connected thing, the stats are really, they're troubling on a couple of levels. First of all, they put the donor retention rate recently at about 30%. That means that 30% of the people who come back next year to give to the average nonprofit.
It's horrific.
Right?
It's
well,
horrific.
And what I find even more, maybe as much, if not more stunning, is that they say 40% is good.
I know, right?
Right? It's like, wait a minute, 40%, less than half is like, they use the word healthy.
Yes.
Or somebody did, I read, and it was like, whoa, wait a minute, this is not.
That would not work in sales.
Yeah.
Would
Right.
not work.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, and to think your best customers are, and the easiest customers to get in sales are the ones who've already bought from you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so you want to be able to work with those and keep them on board.
Exactly.
I mean, that's really an issue. So, yeah, it means that there's so much work you have to do just to stay even rather than getting ahead.
Well, you're spending your time getting new people.
Yeah.
70% turnover every year is a lot of work.
Oh, it's huge.
If I had to do that in sales, I would have been fired.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, we would have closed their doors. But even in the nonprofit, so many nonprofits, especially the small shops, would have to close their doors.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so many are always on that precipice, or
right.
Or they get frustrated and just say, okay, we're not going to do fundraising because it's so hard, because we're not getting traction, and they move to product sales or any of the other things they can work with. Right. Or they think that grants are going to rescue them.
Yes,
which that is a whole nother conversation.
Oh, yeah, yes. I can't tell you how many times that comes up, and I go, so you're not guaranteed that grant.
Or special events.
Right.
That's
Special events. There are many I work with that they do multiple events a year because They're working to attract that 70%
Mm-hmm.
or 60%, whichever number
Yeah.
you want to go with. And they're hoping that in that 60 to 70% is Bill Gates
Yeah.
or Oprah Winfrey
Right.
or somebody or Mackenzie Scott. And there they go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not a new thing, and I'll tell you why. If anybody, and I recommend this, if you haven't seen Babes in Arms, which is an old Mickey Rooney, Judy Garland film,
Okay.
and it has this whole line about their children of actors and all, to make them short. And they get to this thing where they're trying to save their parents' jobs, right? And Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland look at each other and say, "Let's put on a show." I think that clip should be in everybody's, every nonprofit fundraisers.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, are we going to do this really, guys?
Right.
Uh,
So I think what happens, if you don't mind me
No,
jumping
please.
in, is so you have an event
yeah,
and I'm just going to use numbers. You
Yeah.
made 50,000,
sure.
but you really only netted 25,000.
Yeah.
What you haven't done in your expenses, you haven't added the labor,
Yeah.
you haven't added your CRM,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't added some advertising.
Oh, yeah.
So you haven't added postage.
It's those
printing-
true costs.
Right,
that you
exactly.
really haven't gotten
Exactly.
to. Right.
Exactly. And so that tells you, if you divide that by the number of people, how much you've made,
Yeah.
and how much it cost you, not how much you made, how much it cost you to put on this event.
And everybody.
And not that events are bad.
Well, right. I was just going to say,
Right.
don't think we're like really slamming on events.
No.
I actually, I am not the person to put on your special event, but I think having an event there for leveraging other things is super.
Absolutely.
Right? I'm
Absolutely.
all about that.
Absolutely.
But you got to also know that, like, I don't know how many percent, but if you count out the people who have to be there because the company bought a table and they just show up for the dinner, and the folks who drag along their significant other of some sort and all this, right? The number of people who are really, really, into
Absolutely.
it are smaller than the total.
Absolutely.
Let's put it that way. But
And donor retention will come into that.
yes, because it's you're on this treadmill to try to get these people
New.
all
You're
the time.
always working on the new.
Right, exactly. So really, why is this such a big problem? How have we gotten to the point now where we think 40% is good?
I think that we're chasing dreams.
Okay, that's interesting.
Because we hear about the 1%.
Mm.
And 1% gives great donations.
Yeah.
So if we just got that,
Mm-hmm.
right, then we would be okay. The other thing is we have so much emphasis on major donors. They're important. Major donors are important. I'm not taking away from that.
Yeah.
But we spend, either we're on events chasing new, or we're on major donors. So we've forgotten the rest of our base.
And so it's kind of like a baseball team that focuses on getting home runs all the time instead of playing the singles and getting people
I
around the
believe
bases.
you. I totally believe you. I'm not into baseball, so I believe you. It sounds good.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Right.
Right.
Or a football team who goes for the big score,
Right,
the big
as
pass
opposed
all
to
the time,
moving it
as
forward.
opposed to moving
Right,
it forward.
exactly,
Yeah. Right.
exactly.
Right.
I also think that, we're in the digital world.
Yeah. No, I've learned that.
Right.
Here we are.
Yeah, here we are, and it's really great. There's so much good about it.
Yeah.
The thing is, when we get in the digital world, we're clicking for donations,
Mm.
right? So I'm making a donation, I'm clicking. You know nothing about me.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
just taking my money, and that's it. What do you know about me?
Yeah.
Do you follow up with me? Do you know?
Well, so this gets to something we were talking about before, that you kind of expressed concern about some of these database programs that identify wealth.
Right.
Right. And we talked about, and if anybody has ever seen the classes I teach or whatever, right, one of the things I talk about is CIA. And I say that, every donation needs CIA. And people kind of like, CIA, what's going on? Right. But it's capacity, interest, access.
Right.
And we focus so much on capacity where we really need to start with interest.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because those clicking, I might be donating because you just asked me to. I have no interest in the organization. I could care less, but my friend Matt asked me, I'm just gonna, okay, I'll put my, but that doesn't get you a donor that you can rely on.
Yeah.
it's great for instant money. I'm not against it. And I
Mhm.
think there are moments of it.
And you might hit
Right,
somebody who
exactly.
is good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the follow-up.
Right.
Where is the follow-up on the digital?
Mm.
Right?
Very interesting. Yeah. That's a very
Giving
good point.
Tuesday is big. But see, small shops would have a hard time following up on all these digital.
Yeah.
Big shops, easy, right? Or easier, let me put it that
I
way.
mean, because in a big shop, you kind of lose track of those folks because again,
Right,
you got
exactly.
the major gift program.
Exactly. And you can even follow up on them.
Yeah.
But on a small shop, you have limited people. So I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying
Mhm.
digital donations are bad.
No,
I
it's
think
not.
they're good and they're necessary. The key is where's the follow-up?
Yeah.
That's my question.
Yeah. That's interesting, and that makes a lot of sense today versus other times.
Right. And that to me is part of the reason donor retention is down.
Right. Well, that kind of gets to my next question here,
Okay.
which is like, how is this so different than years ago?
Right. So
Why is that?
right, because so we're so focused now, we're doing the digital,
Mm-hmm.
right? So again, we're not following up. We can't follow through. These are one-time clicks.
Yeah.
These are
Yeah.
one-time clicks. Before you'd write a check, not that that's a great thing, but now I have your name, I have your address, and I could say something to you, and I mailed it to you.
Okay, so back to your amateur neurologist status, right? But no, really, I mean, a check took, and I'm not suggesting we need to go back to checks. I was
not
talking to
saying
somebody
that
about this
either.
yesterday.
No, I'm not saying that either.
But having doing something with your hands, whether you're taking notes, writing a check, or doing something that way, is neurologically reinforces our learning,
Absolutely.
makes a commitment.
Absolutely.
In direct mail, paper direct mail, one of the most successful strategies, and people, paper direct mail really does have a place even today, is when you would take a sticker.
Right.
And you might remember these old Publishers Clearinghouse things, right? We got all the stickers, right? And all the magazines, right? And you would take that sticker here and put it there.
Right.
That physicality was in reinforced commitment.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
your brain was like, oh, now I've done something. Now I have to follow through.
Absolutely.
Digital doesn't have that.
Correct. It does not.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of advantages, but it does not have that. It doesn't have, in fact, there were studies recently, and I can't remember who, but when you're taking your notes, and a lot of us do it on our phones and the iPads and laptop, it's not the same as writing.
Yeah.
Not the same. It doesn't stay in the same way. And I'm not against doing it. I do it digitally too, right? But there are times I will sit and actually write.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, in that it's changed. The times are changing.
Mm-hmm.
So more and more people are going to do digital.
Yeah.
So the question is, how do we follow up on the digital donations?
Yeah, that makes a big. I mean, is this part of just a technological thing, or is there a societal shift going on here? I mean, it's.
Well, I think it's both, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we are going into the digital, and that's going to continue and even get more so.
Right.
We're doing it more and more in AI and all that, and it all is great and has its place, but we're forgetting the human touch in this.
Yeah.
The human touch is what makes the difference. People give to
people.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when I'm putting it in my digital because you asked me, that's because of people to people.
Well, and that gets to something else, with people giving to people. One of the things, again, I talk about in classes is I do this exercise if I'm in a live, like in-person class, where I have a rope, and I have at one end of the rope the donor, and the other end of the rope the mission recipient. I call it, whether that's the client or whatever word you use for the person who impacts. And I go through this sequence where you have the name of the organization, and then you have the volunteer, and you have the executive director or the director of development, right? And the donor really doesn't care about all those in between. No. The closer you can connect the people to the people, the donor to that mission recipient, the better off you
are.
Right?
Absolutely.
And especially if you can actually get them to meet, which is not always appropriate or
possible
easy.
Today.
Possible.
Right.
Sometimes,
because we have donors around the world and we have missions around the world.
Yeah. And then there's times that it's inappropriate, for different reasons.
Right.
But it really makes a difference to have that connection there.
Right.
And it's hard to do that. It's increasingly difficult to do that.
So great thing, peer-to-peer fundraising is great. It's
Yeah.
important. It has its place. But when I see on the birthday thing, $300, my goal is $1,000,
Mhm.
$500. People can just opt out. But if you were to ask me in person,
Well, okay, so let's go back to peer-to-peer. This is very interesting. Somebody made
I don't
this,
know how we got here, but
no,
okay,
no,
let's
no,
go.
but somebody made an observation to me, which kind of like was one of these hit side of my head moments. When I was a kid, and maybe for you too, there was, if you were in a neighborhood of any kind of sort, somebody would be the neighborhood Red Cross captain, say,
Right.
or Cancer Society or
Okay.
whatever. And it was usually a woman, and it was usually and kind of speaking to other women in the neighborhood, typically. I mean, it's kind of the time. And this woman would go leave letters or envelopes to all her neighbors around, saying, I'm running this year's United Way drive or whatever,
Right.
and can you be part of this?
Right.
And that was kind of peer to peer. That
Exactly.
was the time. It was
Exactly.
old school peer to peer, where they had that personal connection,
Exactly.
right? Because they knew their neighbors, or if they didn't know their neighbors, they would at least see them once a year on Halloween.
Right. Well, that's what Girl Scout Cookies is.
Yeah.
It's peer to peer, no way.
Yeah.
And that's how it started, right?
Right.
Knowing schools do these campaigns, right, where they send the kids home with filling
Yes,
out
all
one-
those things. Right.
buy the chocolate, buy the microwave cover, whatever
It's
it is.
interesting that those are changing too into go to the website and order this stuff now, as opposed to actually having the
It's
product.
more efficient.
It is.
It's much more efficient. Again, though, the people to people is being lost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that doing it on the website is great. Again, where's the follow up with the people to people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is somebody saying, am I saying, thank you, Matt, I really am glad you made that donation?
Right. Right.
Do I even know you made that donation?
Now, it's interesting that I find that there's a transition point that has to be made in that, right? And it's funny. QR codes were something I thought as a culture we were going to lose. Before the pandemic, they were like, nobody really used QR codes.
Right.
And yet it was the only way, at least I could know, that you could transition from the physical paper to the digital.
Right.
Was through a QR code or a barcode or something like that. They have actually now started to get some traction because people use them that way, and it's recognized.
Yes, absolutely.
That way. But how do you make that transition point from the digital to the personal?
So
this is really a big question here.
Right. So you're getting their email.
Right.
Are you following up on the email?
Yeah.
Are you just saying thank you, the standard thank you, we got your $25, or you're a ticket holder or whatever, and done?
Yeah.
Or are you then, and that's the other thing, is you just have an email. So do you have an email and a phone number? Phone number is really important.
Yeah.
You have an email and an address.
Oh, that's huge.
Right? So when you just have an email, so our email boxes are loaded.
Oh, I talk about this in direct mail all the time, where my email box might have 100 in it today, but my postal box has 3.
And they're usually bills, right?
Yeah.
So when I get cards, I'm very appreciative. Very appreciative, and I'll open them.
Yeah.
Right? Or I'll get a handwritten envelope, right? Or I know where it's coming from. But where's the next step?
Well, let me ask you this. So I don't know, years ago, the whatever crisis occurred someplace in the world, I made a donation to World Vision.
Okay.
And wonderful organization. And what I was stunned, actually, to get a call came in. I didn't recognize it. It was a voicemail. It was from the president of World Vision. It was a robocall.
Right. But still.
Thanking me.
Right, exactly.
For that donation.
Exactly.
Which I thought, wow.
Yes.
That is an excellent use of that technology.
Yes.
As like, was it personalized? No, it wasn't. I mean, to the point where it wasn't, hey, Matt, how you doing, right?
Right.
Maybe today they could do that, but at least it made me feel like, yeah, there's some kind of recognition there more than just an email follow up that I can't, that's
Right.
in cyberspace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah.
So, but donor retention is, I'm not saying that you're going to follow up with every donor,
Mhm.
right? It's a lot of work, and I'm not
Yeah.
taking away from that. But you really could be following up in a systematic way. And I think we're
that's
missing
interesting.
systems in donor retention.
Now that speaks to me. I think you are right.
We don't have a system. We're
Right.
like, okay, I'll send out the initial thank yous, which we all do, which mean really zip. Maybe we use it for our taxes, maybe we don't.
Right.
But then what? So
Yeah.
I'm giving you my money, right? And for the shop, the organization, the work is done.
Yeah.
For me, the donor, I've just begun a relationship with you.
Well, it's that stewardship portion.
Right.
that we're looking
But I've
for.
just begun the relationship. Once I give you that money, whether it's digital, whether it's check, whatever, however I do it, whether it's real estate, plan gift, whatever it is, DAFs, our relationship for me as the donor is just beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
For you, it's like, okay, I got the money.
So we're talking about something like a donor welcome package?
You could do that. I mean,
something.
it depends upon the organization, but I think that there needs to be a system how you're going to follow up monthly.
So let me throw something out that I talk about a lot with folks because I'm kind of an advocate for it. There's this guy, Michael Gerber, maybe people have heard me talk about this, that put out this book called The E-Myth,
Okay.
E for entrepreneur.
Right.
And his contention is that process is brand.
Okay.
And that you have to develop systems, you have to develop processes, because people will come to you and it's like he tells this story about the plumber, right? And this guy hires somebody else, and the second guy is a great plumber, but he doesn't do it like the first guy does. And people don't understand because they want the first guy's work right. And so the idea is that the guy has to make processes that are his brand,
right,
so that everybody has to follow. And then they iterate these processes out so that now anytime somebody encounters his company, they know what they're getting.
Right.
Right. And that's kind of what you're talking about here, to have these processes iterated out so that people know, wow, that's that nonprofit's, brand. That's how they handle things, and thanking people. That's a way of doing that.
So it's very interesting as you say that, because I think that sometimes we forget that we are actually using technology today, wording today, not technology. We're ghosting the donors.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
we're not getting back to them, really. And you can't get back to everybody.
Well, yeah.
Depending on your size, right? Maybe when you're initially you can, but as you grow, you're getting big, and you may not have
I don't know
the
if you
staff.
can't get back to everybody, is you can't get back to them in a way that is, you get back to them in different ways.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So today, I mean, before you used to have a touch point of like 10 times, people would have to see your organization 10 times before they remember it.
Yes, right. That old advertising, you got to see 7 times before you get a message.
Today, I just saw, not today, but today, I've read it's 22 times.
Yeah. Wow.
So I think the misconception is, there is a misconception from the organization that if I've given to you, then I know about you.
Well, and that's funny you said, because I when I've had staff I've worked with, I've always said, we are not in the news business. We are in the advertising business. And so you need to repeat things to people over and over, as opposed to, the big story today is.
Right.
And it's a whole different mindset, because you can talk about things, the same thing, more than once and in different angles.
Exactly.
So that that communication gets to somebody. Exactly. Maybe it's on the postcard, maybe it's on the social media page, it's going to be on the website and the email, and that's okay.
Right. That's great.
Because they need not only to hear it multiple times, but they need the reinforcement from different media angles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so, yes, we do need to have the touch point. So my thought is that you're looking at touching donors, and you can rotate through donors
Yeah.
6 times in a year.
Yeah.
So that's every other month.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a system, you can pick, so you're going to pick maybe a few that are your monthly donors, a few that are your major donors, of course, and you're going to have a few from the lower end who have been donating regularly that you're just saying, oh, Matt's donating
Well, okay,
annually.
that gets us something. Okay. Oh, you said the big word there. Bing, bing, bing. If it was Groucho Marx, back in the 50s, the duck would come down.
I'm glad we're not there.
I know,
I don't
right?
want any
It was a stuff.
Okay.
But no, it was that the annual word, right? And the whole misconception about annual fund and only asking people once every year. And I think that might have something to do with it because, your best donors are going to keep on giving to you.
Absolutely.
And you need to ask them on an ongoing basis for different things, right? But to keep you top of mind, you'd be surprised how many people don't get annoyed. We always hear about I had a boss one time and said, we hear bad things 10 times worse and good things 10 times diminished.
Right.
And so when somebody calls us up and said, you're sending too much mail, right? That echoes,
Right.
But, one data point doesn't make a trend.
Exactly.
Right? That's just that one person.
Exactly.
And so being able to send multiple mailings to people who have already given to you, or maybe you didn't hit that person on the right time,
Right.
and now you're going to hit them again a couple months later, and they will donate to you.
Right. And the thing is that, so here's how I envision. I'm speaking off the top of my head right now, but here we go.
Here we go.
I know, here we go. So if you were to pick 5 people a week, so that would give you 20 people.
Okay, for a month, yeah.
Right, for a month. And you would contact those 20 people every other month.
Okay.
So, oh my God, that sounds like a lot, right? So your first week, you're picking 5 major donors.
Okay, these are people to follow up, just say thank you to or something?
Right, exactly.
Okay.
That is so important.
Right.
That is more important than making the ask right now, because you haven't done anything other than the standard uniform thing.
Now, let's say that they're. I'm sorry, I know
you're interrupting me.
I know I am, but these synapses are going here, right? I mean, I could really see some potential in this because now, even if you leave a voicemail.
So exactly.
Right. I'm sorry.
So see, you interrupted me. I was like, right. So the first week, I'm going to pick 5 major donors, and I'm going to call them. And 90% of the time, where is it going? Voicemail.
Yep.
Voicemail. But I can leave a message. Matt, it's so great that you made that donation recently. I greatly appreciate it. I'd love to catch up and see, what you're thinking about our organization. I'm not asking you for money. This is really key here. I'm not asking you for money. So then for that week, you call 5 major donors. One a day. That's why I'm saying 5.
Yeah.
One a day. The next week, you call 5 of your long-term donors.
Okay.
Whoever they've been. 1, right? Same thing. The next week, you pick 5 new donors.
That sounds good.
Right? And then the last week, you can pick any 5 you want out of a hat.
Right.
So those 20, you're focusing on every other month. And you're giving them a touch point 6 times. So the first time is a call. They may call you back. And so it's a 20-minute call max.
Yeah, right.
So they may call you back. The second time, you could send them an email. The third time, you can send them a handwritten note.
Well, what you're describing is classic moves management.
Okay. Is that what I'm describing?
Yeah, you really are.
I don't know what he's talking about, but apparently that's what I'm
David Dunlap, look it up.
Okay. Right. So you're picking those 20 that you're following up with every other month. And you're going to end up having conversation. And you're going to find out, here's the key that's missing. You're not tapping your board.
Interesting.
So the board.
In other words, you're not calling them or you're not asking them to call?
You're not asking them to call.
Okay.
And you can actually put a board member in one of those calls.
Okay.
And taps because they are your donors, hopefully. Right.
That's
right. That's a whole different conversation. We're not going down that one yet. But so if the board member is doing 5 that they follow up with, right? Just give them 5. You don't need to give them the 20. You're the ED. You
Mhm.
have this is your work, right? It is
Yeah.
your work. The board member is a volunteer, but they have donated their time. They have agreed to it as a board member.
Right.
So you give them 5 to follow up on every other month. What does this do? First of all, you know, and I know the statistic that when a board member calls and thanks, you have a 42% chance of getting another donation. That's number one.
Okay.
Of that 42%, 39% will probably increase their donation. So
Even if they weren't asked to.
exactly.
Right.
That's the board is just thanking.
Yeah.
You know, so your board is fundraising without asking for money,
Cool.
right?
Yeah.
So now they're doing it. But the other thing that's happening is the board is hearing, because they will eventually have a conversation.
Mhm.
They're asking them, what do you like about our organization? What sparked the donation? What story did you hear that moved you? They're learning then, oh, it isn't difficult to fundraise.
Well, and they're filling in the I, the interest part. Because maybe somebody
Exactly.
years ago had that's sorry about that, folks.
We have a chicken in the office.
Really? No, maybe they found out years. I was talking to somebody yesterday who works in Middle America that runs a literacy program. It's a part of Middle America that would. The chances are that their grandparents may have been illiterate,
Right.
and they would find out about that as like that's their motivation. For
Right,
picking that
exactly,
gift.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the board member is hearing stories.
Yeah.
They bring it back at the board meetings.
Mm-hmm.
They're sharing. The ED CEO also gets to hear the stories because they're not connecting with the same donors.
Right.
They're beginning to hear stories that they can share. So when the board goes out to meet their family, their friends, strangers, can I just tell you, I heard this incredible story?
Yeah.
And I'm not asking you for money. I'm still fundraising as a board member without asking you for money.
Now, I would think for this and for the staff doing the same, that you need to prepare them.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
yes.
in a significant way, right? But back to that systematizing.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So you'd have your scripts, guidelines to give them.
Yeah, right.
And here's the thing: some have said to me, "Well, the board doesn't make the calls." I said, "Well, have them do it at a board meeting."
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
If you're in person, it's very easy to do. If you're virtual, say we're taking 5 minutes for you to make calls.
Yeah, yeah.
Because once they pick up that phone, and 90% of the time it's going to voicemail. So once they recognize that, but they're just thanking and appreciating. They're appreciating. So the thing is that also being in Rotary is that it's about membership.
Right.
And making your donors feel like they belong to your organization. Bringing in their membership.
Yeah.
Does that make sense what I'm saying?
I mean,
right?
not members, small m membership.
Right.
You're not paying to be a member.
No, but indirectly you are making a donation. So I am paying to be part of this community. So make me part of the community.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I'm a person that's just made the donation because you asked me to, and that's a favor donation, and I walk away, then don't spend time with me. Go, okay.
Right.
I think the thing with the beauty of donor retention, it's finding those who are aligned with your organization.
Yes.
It's not about convincing you.
Well, and that's excellent. Yes, that's right.
And that's what fundraising is too.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about convincing you to support my organization. It's finding that you are aligned with my organization, which is the interest you're talking about.
Right.
Then I can invite you to make that donation. If you're not interested.
Well, interest starts with inclination.
Right. Exactly. Right.
And that's and it's so much. And it's funny because I had somebody tell me years ago, really insightful. It says if you remember some miracle story about a donation, you probably work too hard for it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That it's those people who are inclined that you probably may not remember, but they made significant gifts. Where if you did this really hard work to convince somebody that, I mean, that's great, right? But you probably put too much time into that where you could have been putting time into inclination people.
Exactly. I think that one of the greatest gifts is to get a no, because now I know I can move on to the next one. As opposed to, well, I don't know, let me think about it, let me talk to this person, let me see, da 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 da, and now I'm waiting on you and calling you and following up. But if you told me no, it's like, that's great, Matt.
Yeah.
What's your interest? We're not. Maybe that organization.
Right. And in fact, actually, one of the things I like to do when I'm out doing this kind of stuff, and certainly more years ago, is being a resource person for the donor.
Exactly.
So if you said, gee, I only gave because of a favor to this person. Oh, what are you interested in?
Exactly.
I really like that. Oh, well, let me introduce you to them.
Exactly.
And now you are being a positive in their life. They made the gift. They may not give to you again, but you're getting that marketing value out of it by helping that person.
Yes, and you're a connector.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And we all want to be connected.
Yeah.
And it's lovely if you can, because if you are referring to another organization, guess what? Somebody's referring to you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's something, I mean, like in AFP and other organizations, I always found that refreshing that you got to know people and you could refer them around.
Exactly.
That was always very helpful.
Exactly. I was in fact at an AFP conference yesterday.
Yes.
And it was lovely to see like-minded supporting each other as opposed to being competitive.
Yes.
It's supporting. Yeah. And that's what organizations can be doing with each other, is supporting other organizations by referring people that are not aligned with them.
Right.
Or saying what they do is great. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And today I'm finding that nonprofits are bringing executive directors from other nonprofits on their board to help them understand and move. So there is this collaboration that is lovely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Connection and collaboration.
So the things that we're learning here is that to really push back against this retention problem, we have to have stronger connections where people who are aligned, inclined, interested. That's the key there.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because if you've reached out to me 6 points. I have to rephrase what I'm going to say. It's a whole other thing, right? So if you reached out to me 6 times, and email is nice, but we're all overloaded. But do one on email by all means, a story, what's happening, news. I'm going to remember you, and I'm going to say, this nonprofit, while the others I've donated to haven't.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even, what I love, one of the things I love about postcards and
I do love postcards.
is that you can take a postcard and post it. Like put it up on your refrigerator, on your desk, give it to somebody else.
I do love postcards. Yeah. I'm a fan of postcards.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, it was interesting that at the AFP, there is this company, I don't want to mention its name, that does all these cards with robots. They can do like 50,000 of your cards.
Sure.
I'm sure there are other companies that do that. And, when I was in sales, I thought that's great. But in this arena, no, because we talk about today, and especially younger, is about authenticity.
Yeah, that's right.
So are you being authentic? Are you being genuine? That's the word I like, is genuine.
Sure.
So, taking those 20 and signing, you can put a little note card or a postcard, putting something personal. I tell every board member, executive director, that when you're doing a mass email, which we all do, it's not taken away from that, at the end, put a personal note, handwritten. So you don't have to write the whole thing. You take your 20 or whatever, and you just put a personal note. So it's personalized. Matt, thank you for what you've done. I appreciate you just supported a puppy. You just supported or maybe you haven't, but along with you and others, we've been able to, or thank you, or it was great seeing you. At the end of this, especially at an event, right? You write these letters and there's mass thing. Great seeing you.
I worked at a place one time where at the holidays, we actually dedicated a conference room to holiday cards. And people would cycle in and write those notes on holiday cards for people.
Yeah.
And it actually was very effective. Everybody signed most of the cards, but then there were certain people who had relationships with some of the donors, and they would write a special note.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
just the touch. AI and digital and internet are all wonderful, but let's not forget the human touch. And especially after the whole pandemic we went through, we've recognized connection is so important.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
So important. So if we can find ways and utilize the board,
Mhm.
utilize the board. If you have 6 board members and each one is working on 5, that's 30 donors that are being cared for.
Yeah, yeah. And then cycle that over a few months, that really makes a big difference for a lot of folks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it impacts the board.
Yeah.
Because the board begins to understand the beauty of your organization because it's not their day-to-day work.
Right.
They're volunteers. They come in, depending on how often you have
Yeah.
board meetings,
Yeah.
quarterly.
Yeah, it is one of the strengths and both strengths and weaknesses of the nonprofit system, we'll say, is that people who are in effect amateurs at what you do or community members have say in this, right? And so you have to be able to use it as a strength,
Right.
And that can really make a big
Yeah.
difference because they know
Right.
they're there. So we're not looking at a dystopian future then. No,
No.
if this isn't going to keep on spiraling. I mean, there
No.
is hope. We can do something here.
Of course, and I'm sure that there will be ways to come out that will help us respond to digital donations faster, or not faster, that's not the word, more effectively.
Yes.
I'm sure there will be. It's the next generation. I'm sure. It's not my word, but
we'll leave it to AI to solve.
right. But people care.
Yeah.
People care, and whether it's because I put my $25, I do want to say something really important to understand. Yeah, it is. So Mike Bloomberg of New York, right? He's an multi-millionaire, billionaire, right?
Right.
He started to his alumni donating with $25, and we forget the small donors because they're testing. They don't know what you're about. Well, I'll just give a little bit, see what it is.
Yeah.
He now donates millions.
Well, of course,
I mean,
right.
so you don't know where this little donor. We so focus on major, which I get, but we forget this little donor and we don't know where they're going.
Well, and we can talk a lot about this. We're got a lot of time into this already, right? But yeah, because it's those small ongoing donations
Right.
that lead to the planned gifts.
Exactly.
If not the major gifts,
Right,
but
exactly.
definitely the
And they
planned
can
gifts.
become the major gifts, and they become the planned gifts.
Yeah.
So, but overall, people care.
Mhm.
People care about so much that I think, we hear all the horrors and there's always chaos in the world and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. But we're missing hearing the stories publicly of all the good that is happening.
That's right.
The random acts of kindness,
Yeah.
the donations, the people starting an organization. So yeah, I think we're heading towards a brighter future.
Thus, the name of your company.
Uplifting nonprofit. I do. I consider.
See what I mean,
myself-
guys? See, this is what I'm talking about.
I do. I think we've all got a good heart. And
Yeah.
just touch it.
Yeah, you started your mission to save the world, and you are well on your way to do it.
I don't know that, but I'm not doing it alone.
Yeah.
All of it, everybody there, and you, and beyond are making that happen.
That's great. Well, so part of saving the world is that you are offering folks a
Yes.
special little gift here.
Right.
So
Can I tell them what it is?
Yeah, please. This is
Okay.
that's what it says here.
All
right, tell
Tell
them
them
what it is, honey.
So it's about bringing boards and donors together.
Okay.
And so on it is a list of various ways to connect the board and the donor and to help you with the donor retention.
Excellent. Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. This is so if you are signed up for the live stream through Eventbrite, then that's where you should get a link soon on this. And if you're listening to this on a recording, just go to the NonprofitsOnCourse.com page and find the recording, and you'll get a link there.
Great.
So yeah,
Great.
because-
I'm happy to do that.
thank you.
The more that we can bring boards and donors together, I'm really happy about it.
That's cool. Yeah, because it is that chain I was telling you about, right? And they need to be connected.
Yeah.
Great. Wow. Well, this has really been cool. I enjoy
Doing it in person.
I know, really, really. And I can geek out about this stuff. We could be talking here all day, guys. But I know you have things to do.
So do we.
Yeah, well, yeah, there's that too. But I really want to thank you for coming to Lansdale. This was really a cool fortuity. You were speaking right nearby, and
Right.
and I think you told me that, and I'm like,
Right.
oh well, we can just do this right now. So it really worked out, I think, and thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. I've
Yeah.
always enjoyed being with you, Matt. Thank you.
So if people want to get a hold of you,
Why?
right? Why would they do that?
Why?
Why would you do that? No, if they want to contact you, what's the best way of doing it?
So there are two ways: LinkedIn,
Okay, right.
and the other one is go to my website, upliftingnonprofits.com,
Right. Now,
and send me an email.
now, I think it's important though. Spell your name so LinkedIn works because there are ways of spelling Sonia and all.
So it's Sonia. The
Okay.
reason it's an I is because it's about me.
Oh. Okay. Your parents knew that. Huh? Yeah,
right. And the last name is Saleh. So it's a sale, like you got a sale, a discount sale, and it's a happy sale. So it's Saleh.
Cool. Wow. There's you got that down.
So let me repeat it really quickly. Sonia Saleh.
Okay. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
It's unique.
Yeah, I was in sales. We had to do things to get people to remember us.
Hey, everybody, thank you so much for being with us. That's it for today's show. You'll get notice on future episodes that we're going to have. We have actually some really good guests in the pipeline. And that's it for today. So thank you very much for being with us. And everybody, make it a great nonprofit day.
Yeah.